Hi everyone, welcome to your weekly readings for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November. I hope you're doing well. Hope you've been working okay with the new moon, which is just coming up. We're straight on into a new week, straight on into the set of energies associated with this week. So this follows on from the new moon readings that I put out last night. If you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how your week's been. And just take a moment to get yourself settled. Whenever you're watching this, take a few nice deep breaths. Allow yourselves to get nice and calm. Just feel your way back to yourself, back to your center, back to your heart. I'm going to start off in a moment by pulling in the energies for the collective, and I'll move on to the 12 signs from Aries through to Pisces. Change of month, hitting November already. You've handled this year okay so far. It's mostly gone already. It's been very quick, I feel, for a lot of people. A lot has happened at the same time. So the outlook for the collective at this time. Hi, Madeline. Okay, as the week goes on, you should be feeling a little more at ease, at least with yourself and how you're relating to the situations in front of you, the people around you. On the surface, when you look outside, it's very chaotic. Very, very chaotic. Very, very busy. Awful lot. And we're talking about world events here as well. There's an awful lot that is major, that is very, very big, very, very intense. And you will find this showing up more and more as we head towards 2020 and into 2020. So on the one hand, we're dealing with big popular resistance to really unpleasant governments, really unpleasant moves. And if you look at the protests going on in places like Lebanon, where people are very much pulling away from any sort of traditional form of governments and saying, no, actually, we need something different, like you're all tarred with the same brush. You're seeing big changes there. On the other hand, we're also seeing huge clampdowns, huge crackdowns. Look at somewhere like Chile, there's been massive protests on the streets, but there's also the army basically carrying out summary executions. It's very, very scary. And across the world, this is the balance. This is the balance that's coming in. So we have justice showing up. Now, on the one hand, on the surface, this is quite tumultuous. 5 of Wands. On the other hand, deep down, this is about a sense of what's right, what's just, and what isn't. Traditional forms of authority coming under threat from people saying we're not putting up with this anymore. That's the conflict. That's the conflict on the big scale, the wide scale, the macro scale. What's that like individually? Individually, it means getting in touch with yourself. It means ascertaining what your true values are. What do you stand for? What do you stand for? This is very, very important. Across the board, what we're going to be seeing in the coming weeks, in the coming months, across next year, possibly beyond next year, we're going to start to see people being forced to be clear on what they stand for. What are you for? What are you against? And what does that mean actually deeper than that? What are your true values? Are they kindness? Are they compassion? Are they inclusion? Are they acceptance? Are they love? Are they hope? Or are they ducking under the covers? Are they throwing up hatred, throwing up an ability to point the finger at people without looking at yourselves? All of this going on quite a lot at this time, and that's going to keep on coming. That's going to keep on coming, and this is also going to mean that people who you hold in quite high regard are going to be exposed as well. Part of what justice is, as it comes through, and we're going to see a lot of this week, is somebody who you might have seen as some kind of hero, be that a political hero, spiritual hero, a teacher, some other high profile figure in a position of authority, in a position of influence. They will be showing themselves, but it happens on a low level as well. Look at your friendship groups, look at the people around you. Watch as people's prejudices come into play. Watch that and watch how people respond to that. And that's all of us. We all have to actually examine ourselves very, very carefully. Who are we cutting off? Who are we pushing away? All of that is coming through. And that means you have to reach a stage of balance within yourself. That means you have to reach a stage of acceptance of yourself and the people around you. And the acceptance is also saying, actually, that person's not for me. Not right for me. Don't need to put into that anymore. It's not about throwing good money after bad. It's not about strength anymore. It's about being willing to take that stand. 5 of Wands. This is the sense that is coming through really, really strongly. You know, as a planet, as a species, as a society, how we treat each other is so firmly under the spotlight. What that means for our future is so firmly under the spotlight. Do we give power away? Do we reach for strong men coming in, taking control so as we can all go on a little bit as before, but people still get hurt? People get badly hurt, cut away from society. Or do we attempt genuine radical inclusion? And it's the key energy of the time. And that's true in terms of what happens to people. It's true what happens in terms of oppressed groups of people. What does it mean in terms of race? What does it mean in terms of gender? What does it mean in terms of disability? What does it mean in terms of anyone who we push out, cut out in that direction? Direction we move into is temperance. Temperance. Bringing things together. Allowing things to balance very, very carefully in a way that includes all elements, all groups, ultimately all groups of people. And does that mean that you include somebody who is horrifically racist or whatever? No, it doesn't mean that. It means inclusion. It means we want all groups of people together, but it also means saying that some things are unacceptable. And that we're seeing, as I said, we're going to see it on a local level, on a personal level, but we're seeing it on a global level, a political level. We're seeing it in terms of the stances people are taking on climate change as well. It comes through there in a really big way. Really does. Some people are putting up every excuse in the book to ignore the fact that the situation there is very, very desperate, very, very disparate. And some people are doing so from a very kind of denial of science point of view. Some people are doing that from a point of view of, well, trying essentially to use spirituality as an escape from material reality, which doesn't work either. This is about the impact we each have on an individual level. It's no surprise that Scorpio season exposes this stuff. It's not a surprise at all. Scorpio does expose this stuff. Do I feel it being really hard this week? No, I don't actually. I feel it's flowy. I also feel that you're going to get some surprises as we go on. People who you hold in high regard, being found out, coming unstuck. Maybe they'll adjust and maybe they won't. It's not about deciding, therefore, those people can't exist within society, but it's about not tolerating any bullshit from them. And we're going to see this again and again, and we've seen it in recent years with people who've committed sexual offences in the public eye being exposed more and more, but then becomes what we do about it. Now, in terms of what that means, it's open, it's up for grabs. We're going to see that more and more going into next year. And I repeat this a lot, but that's the picture. That's why parts of the world are going up in flames at the moment. It's why there are governments cracking down. It's why there's resistance to that. It's where the bland populism, the demagoguery, all of that becomes a risk. It looks to point the finger, looks to cut away the weak. It has to move to a place where everyone comes together. That's a fight. 5 of Wands, it's a fight. It's a fight. It is. Energy has to go into that. In whatever sense. For some people, that's going to be getting on the streets. For some people, that's going to be, defending mosques, defending synagogues, defending black churches, whatever else. We've been here before. We've seen this before. We know what has to be done there. For other people, it's going to be taking account of your own bullshit and some of the stuff that you've internalized, because we all do. We're all fed this stuff in this society. We all soaked in it. We all pick it up. We all got to unpick it. All of that comes through so strongly this week. But as I said, I don't feel like it's hugely overwhelming just yet on an individual basis. But you're going to notice it more and more. And it's going to be about what values you align yourself to. And again, love, kindness, compassion, inclusion, acceptance. Doesn't mean agreeing on every little last thing. Like anyone who demands you agree with them on everything, decides they have all the answers, decides they know better, they're the biggest danger of all. But it's identifying, working through that stuff on every level ultimately. And it's also saying, actually, when somebody's had too much access to or too much influence over you, trap we can all fall into. I hope that makes sense as a collective energy. Could talk for hours on this stuff, on what's coming in astrologically, on the fact that the world can't be governed in the same way anymore, and therefore it can get a lot better or a lot worse, and every individual decision, action, stance matters. But I'm going to move on to the 12 signs. Hi to everyone just tuning in. Hi Melody Melodical. Hi Michelle. Hi Intuitive Gem. Hi JTMC. Hi Brian Pye. Hi La Luna. Wonderful to see all of you. I see I've attracted some flies tonight as well. Hi Amanda Panda. So we're going to start off with Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising for the 28th of October until the 3rd of November 2019. Aries. Okay. It's a sadness in Aries. It's a sadness coming through this week, Aries. And it's not like everything is terrible, everything is doomed, anything like that. But it's a seeping sadness that comes through. Slight disillusionment with certain things you've invested in, certain things you expected. Feeling like you might have trusted the wrong people, or you might have just invested more than you had in terms of energy commitment into something, or possibly multiple things, too many things. It's getting on top of you. It's getting on top of you, and you need some support. You need some support, but you also need to be kind to yourself to honor your process as this goes on. You're coming in with the Hanged Man, Aries. You're coming in with the Hanged Man. So this is, oh, okay. Okay, I can't put more into this right now. I'm going to see how it plays out. I feel a little bit weak. Okay. Okay. Slight resignation, but I don't feel it's terminal. I don't feel it's terminal. I feel it's more to do with just being a little bit tired, a bit overwhelmed, having done a lot. I feel like you could get into a slight bit of a spiral, though, as well. So there's a need to see quite clearly with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords. Okay. What is affecting me? What can I work on? What can I change? What can't I change? What can I ignore? What can I cut out? How can I narrow my focus at this time? As well as being kind to myself, allowing myself a break, allowing myself a rest, allowing myself downtime and self-care. Advice is the devil. You might have overly committed in some areas, Aries, and not only might you have overly committed in some areas, but you might have developed too much of an attachment to certain things. Now, these could be allowing work to emotionally influence you. So work's going well, fantastic, yay. Work's going badly, oh shit, I'm rubbish, I'm worthless. In between this, Aries, there's a bit of balance. You've got to allow yourself to feel, to notice what's upsetting you. That's okay. Get deep down into it. But allow yourself to see a future as well, a way past this. Some things are too much at the moment. That's okay. But you can reduce them. You can lower them. That's not a problem for you. That's not a problem for you. Go easy on yourself this week, Aries. It feels tricky. It does. It does. And yeah, I do feel stuff is going to be stirred up from this week. Like immediately after Halloween, we go into Mercury retrograde. That's going to be a time for reflection. So we all got to slow down anyway. Aries, it's coming in for you slightly early. Go easy on yourself. Allow yourself to feel, but I don't feel it's as doom and gloom as you might be projecting into it. I hope that makes sense for you. Hi, Tony. Hi, Erin. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Taurus. Bit different for you, Taurus. Can you allow yourself to believe in something, maybe in someone? Do you have space in your life to allow love in? To allow someone to be kind to you, to be warm to you, to develop an emotional connection to you? Or are you just going to cut it out? You're coming in with the Two of Pentacles. So you're very focused on what's practical, what's sustainable, what's in the here and now, what's right now, what's material. And I feel like you might be pushing people who want to reach you on an emotional level away. The Knight of Cups is coming in. Now, this is somebody who cares about you. This could be a potential partner. It doesn't have to be. But it's somebody who wants to reach in Allow you to share your emotions, feel your emotions, touch in with you, touch a deep part of you. Something you're struggling to permit because you're busy with work. You're busy with worrying about money and this and the state of the world and your living situation and maybe family stuff, and you get the idea. One thing at a time, Taurus. I feel like you need to segment your energy a little bit, and by that what I mean is you need to allow some time in your life for this stuff. Not I'm too busy, I've got too much to do, so nobody can deal with me on that level. I can't connect to me on that level. I just can't. It's too much. Could open the floodgates, then what? Well, yeah, then what? Then you're dealing with something real. Then you're dealing with something real whilst the sun's in water, and real stuff comes up when the sun's in water. Your advice is the Six of Swords. You need a break from your worldly worries. You need a break from your worldly travails, especially the material stuff. And you need to be able to shift your attention elsewhere. And that is onto the emotional level, and that is onto the person coming in. Yeah, you have responsibilities. They're not going away, but nor are they desperate, nor are they the only thing. And you can allow some time for this instead, Taurus. I feel like you need to. I feel like you've been holding it together, holding a lot inside, and it's going to burst out or project out at some stage in a less healthy way if you don't allow people to connect to you. I hope that makes sense for you, Taurus. Hi, Reese. Hi, LV. Hi, Margaret. The next sign is going to be Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Gemini. If you're in the chat, please feel free to chat about how your week's been going, how your weekend's been, what your plans are for this week. Gemini. Hi, Lisa. Gemini, someone I feel might be disappointing you this week, although I don't feel like they're really disappointing you. What I feel they're doing is failing to live up to an ideal you'd set for them, some demands you projected onto them, some expectations, and they're just turning around and saying, actually, that's not me. I can't do that. I can't be that for you. I can't be that to you. And you have a choice as to whether you give them a hard time for that or accept them for who they are, and accept that you can do certain things for yourself, and accept that certain things are going to come in from other people instead. Big rebalancing. And I don't feel this is somebody you need to let loose on either. I feel this is somebody who is simply saying, look, I have my other priorities. I have to do this. Maybe something's come up for them, and so they've had to pull back a bit from you. Maybe. Be a lover, could be a friend, could be a mentor, a teacher, somebody you work with. But either way, you might have just been leaning on them a bit too much. A bit too much. King of Cups. King of Cups is traditionally somebody who you can lean on. Very emotionally supportive, very emotionally strong, very emotionally stable. And you might have leaned on this person a bit too much for emotional stability. Could be a strong water energy. So that could be Cancer, that could be Scorpio, that could be Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. But I feel like it's somebody who you've looked to, somebody who's been very, very good for you. And you might be getting a little bit upset because they don't have the capacity at this time, or they're behaving differently, doing something else. The Magician. Now, you might panic over this, Nine of Swords. I don't feel you need to. I feel this is all about balance, just as we're dealing with collectively at this time, all about balance. They are going to prioritize what they need to. You need to prioritize what you need to. You need to do certain things for yourself. You need to spread the load a bit more. And I feel like for those of you, even those of us, I'm a Gemini moon myself, who can be in need of emotional support at times in significant ways, you can't get that only from one person. It has to be from a range of people. And it can't be based on giving up your own power, your own responsibility either. So there's a rebalancing going on for you this week, Gemini. It doesn't feel drastic. It just feels a little destabilizing until you realize what it's for. I hope that makes sense for you, Gemini. The next sign is going to be Cancer. Hi, Veronica. So this is Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Cancer. Okay. You're angry at yourself, Cancer. You're angry at yourself, or you're angry at someone else, but you're quite angry. And it's not necessarily justified anger either. Have you been holding yourself to impossible standards, Cancer? Have you been holding yourself to ridiculous standards? Standards so high that you can't possibly sustainably meet them and still be human, unless you are repressing huge parts of yourself. Be they urges, be they wounds, be they traumas, be they whatever the fuck. Give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. And the same goes if you are holding anyone else to impossible expectations either, Cancer. Coming in with the Six of Wands, and I feel the Six of Wands is an expectation here to be the best at everything. Every little thing, to be inscrutable, unflappable, to be able to be somebody who nobody sees any flies on at all. It's not realistic. You're human. We're all human. So you can't hold yourself or anyone else to those standards because it's setting things up to fail. I have the Eight of Cups and I have the Five of Cups showing up. Where does perfectionism come from? Whether you demand it of yourself or of anyone else, where does it come from? It comes from a need for control. It comes from being let down at some stage. Being let down at some stage and therefore being like, well, I'm never going to let anyone else down. I know how that felt. I know how that felt. I don't want anyone else to ever feel that, and I never want to feel that again. So I got to push myself and push myself and push myself. Grind myself into dust rather than ever fall short. Eight of Cups. You don't need to leave that person behind. They don't need to leave you behind. What you need to leave behind is being so down on yourself or on them whenever whenever you show yourself to be human, it's all it is. It's all it is. So there's a need to release a bit of control. It's coming from a hurt, a disappointment, but where there is that, there's also hope. Like, you have to see some of the good in them, in yourself, in situations as well. It's not all doom and gloom, Cancer. Allow yourself and other people to simply be complete people. That's all this is for this week. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Leo. Leo's sun, moon, and rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Leo. Yeah, you're not liking this, Leo. You're not liking the situation you're finding yourself in this week at all. Distrust. Some of it justified. Some of it justified. Some of you have genuinely been let down. Left alone. Something failed. Something went wrong. Something collapsed. Something collapsed. You've lost a bit of hope over this. Can't see a way past it. Can't see a way through it. This is also quite one-sided, incidentally. So yeah, something has gone horribly, horribly wrong. 10 of Swords. It has. It really has. But then there's extra that you've piled onto yourself, I feel, as well, Leo. Again, I feel like you've pushed yourself super hard. Held yourself to really, really high standards. This is a common picture at this time. Because it is two-pronged, you might have held someone else to really high standards as well. But there is this sense of just, I can't go on like this. So don't go on like this. This is about regrouping. It's about finding your way to something different, something new. It's about fresh commitments. It's also about recognizing the validity that you've already done your best. Did this come off? No. Is there a big setback? Yeah, there is. But does that mean you shouldn't have made an effort in the first place? I don't feel so. I don't feel so. I feel it's a learning experience, a learning process. And I feel like this is just going to be about reconfiguring your attitude to yourself and to those people who may have failed you. It's not even so much about cutting them out as not giving so much of yourself away to them. Keeping a bit more back for yourself. Okay, some of you were taken advantage of. Okay. Other people's demands on you were too high. So with the 6 of Wands, you're honouring yourself. With the 5 of Pentacles, you're taking things back a little bit. I need some of this for me. I can't give myself away that much. I can't do that much. And I'm going to watch for anyone taking advantage of me in the future. Especially when they come out on top and I'm thrown to the floor. That ain't right. It ain't. So value yourself that bit more. Reclaim a bit more of your energy, some more of your resources for yourself, Leo. Recognize where you were let down. Recognize the sense in which you wanted to give away so much of yourself to please people as well. Pull some of that back because you don't need to do that. You're valuable in your own right. Focus yourself more on yourself and your own needs at this time. I hope that makes sense for you, Leo. The next sign is going to be Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Virgo. I want Virgo to be out of sync, but Virgo is positive at the moment. Virgo is feeling very, very positive. Very, very positive. Isn't sure why other people are so down. Isn't sure why other people are so down when Virgo's feeling good. Virgo's feeling balanced. Virgo's feeling able to take on the world. Nice, nice energy for you, but you have to appreciate not everyone is in the same place as you, Virgo. So you're coming in with justice, and you are balancing out other people's apprehensions, misgivings, the things they're upset about. Now, what's important here, Virgo? What's important is to be there to support them and not to get in their faces and demand they cheer up, demand they smile, demand this, demand this, demand this. And I know it might feel strange me suggesting a Virgo might do that, but I feel this is the zone you're in at the moment. So with the Seven of Wands, you just got to be mindful to allow people to be where they are in their own process, to be feeling their own stuff. And what's more, you've got to watch out for what you might be using this as a false mask, a false smile to avoid within yourself. If you're feeling good, it's good. You're allowed to feel good. Feeling good is a good place to do the deeper work, the shadow work. I feel it's easy for you to be the positive one when everyone else is tearing into themselves. But while they shouldn't be tearing into themselves, it's also the case that you can't just sit there and be like, I'm fine, I've got nothing to work on, nothing to work on, nothing to work on. So you can support other people, but if you're in this good place, this solid place, this happy place, this productive place, this positive place, you can reach into some of the more difficult aspects of yourself, Virgo. You can. You can. You have a keen eye that you turn on other people. You need to turn that on yourself, not to tear yourself down. Not to tear yourself down, okay? Don't do that. But to see what is still holding you back in this sense, Virgo. What are you not allowing yourself to feel? Where are you not allowing yourself to tread, to go? What are you not allowing yourself to work on? Reach into that at this time. And support those who need it as well. Balance them out, but don't negate your own work. I hope that makes sense for you, Virgo. The next sign is going to be Libra. Hi, Neighborhood Arts. I haven't seen you on a live in a little while. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Libra. Libra is kind of, no. Libra, you're acting like you're all out of ideas. Like you're all out of ideas, like you've had upsets, you have. Okay, no one's going to deny that. I also feel like you might be building that up a little bit too much because it's become a habit. That never goes right for me. And you're not seeing the wood for the tree. Some things have gone wrong. Fine, Three of Swords. They have. There's a hurt. But a lot of this is in the mind as well. Okay, I don't feel like anything has drastically hit you currently, but I feel you may have got locked into a belief pattern. Things don't work out ultimately. And while I'll always be there to help other people, they don't work out, so I don't get what I want. So I put that on hold, put it to one side. I don't know what to do now. Don't know what I'm going to work on. I got nothing to do. That's the Libra approach, isn't it? At this time. But it's not strictly true, is it, Libra? There are things that you're avoiding doing, things that you're avoiding starting, things that you're avoiding working on. Things that you're scared to work on, things you might have to work on by yourself, build up by yourself, that might make you more independent, more self-sustaining, more self-responsible. But you're avoiding. I have the Knight of Pentacles coming in for you. I also have the Nine of Pentacles. You don't feel you're good enough to do this. Or you're worried about being found out. What are you avoiding, Libra? What are you avoiding working on? What are you avoiding building up? What are you avoiding taking a chance on that is just yours? It might mean a new commitment, a big commitment. It might mean doing something different, doing some things differently. But actually, it might be successful rather than a failure. It may not hurt. It may be affirming. It may allow you to feel free, in control, excited. It might lead you somewhere new. Some Libras are avoiding working on something big with potential because it might mean a huge change within your life. Be that career, be that relocating, be that suddenly wanting a family, be that ending a relationship, be that starting a relationship, be that releasing dependence on someone. It's better than what you're feeling right now. If you work on it, Libra, you don't have to rush, but there's real potential there. There is. This is kind of a green flag to get going on it. Get going on it, get going on it, get going on it, because you're going to get a bit stuck otherwise. I hope that makes sense for you, Libra. Hi, Tara. The next sign is going to be Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Don't forget to like and share the video, everyone. That helps a huge amount. Scorpio. You're ploughing away, Scorpio. You're ploughing away. You're pushing forward. You're kicking on with what you do. Working hard. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. No time to lose. Not too much to spare. Not too much to give. I've got to focus on this. I've got to work on this. I've got a lot on my plate. Can you accept some gentle advice from someone else? Some gentle guidance from someone else? can you, and you could be playing either of these roles here, okay? So can you either accept someone stepping in as a bit of a teacher, mentor, guide, or coach to make this easier on you? Or can you offer a bit of your time to be that to someone else? I feel like someone else needs your expertise. So you're either giving expertise or you're receiving expertise or guidance or mentoring or coaching in some sense. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. And I feel like for most of you, it's a need to accept that from someone else. So to accept you don't know everything, to be in that junior role, that learning role, that role that allows you to reach for things that are a bit easier to get to, because Two of Pentacles is really hard work. What if there's an easier way to get to where you're going? What if someone could advise you, could guide you? If you let someone in to do that, might make things lighter. The Star might show you an easier way forward, might offer you more hope, more direction, something to look forward to, something to work towards that doesn't feel like such a struggle, Scorpio. Sometimes it's you against the world, but sometimes there are easier ways to get where you're going. And sometimes someone can come in and offer you some guidance, some instruction, some practical support and advice, which allows you to realign your sights to something that is more suitable for you as well. Slight change, letting that person in, should help you to move forward, Scorpio. I hope that makes sense for you. Hi, Christine. Hi, Stephanie Faye. Hi, let's pronounce this right. Hi, Niandano. It's wonderful to see all of you here. The next sign is going to be Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Sag. You're not taking any shit this week, Sag. You're not taking any shit. And sometimes your sign, your energy is quite flighty, but you're not here. We're getting the fighty Sag this week. We're getting the fighty Sag. You're up against a situation that feels quite overpowering, overwhelming potentially, but I feel you standing your ground, even though your knees are shaking a bit. I feel like you're like, no, I'm going to face this one down. I'm going to do this. This feels big. This feels big. It feels like something that you've learned you can't avoid, you can't get away from. So you might be confronting or dealing with someone who you've run from before, maybe conceded ground to before, even capitulated to you before. And you're like, no, not this time. Not this time. Standing up to you. Standing up to you. So you're taking the chance. This is a new approach for you. You're coming as the moon child. You're coming in as the moon child. So I feel like you've grown. You've been like, okay, I've run from this battle, from this situation too many times, given too much away. I'm not doing that anymore. I am tired. I am tired of vacating the premises. I am tired of leaving this patch to somebody else. I am standing here and you got to come at me. The Fool. It's not knowing what you expect from the Fool, but this is taking a chance, actually. doing something new, a new approach. Being like, you might have pushed me away before, but this time you ain't. This time you ain't, so you got to go through me. You got to go through me with the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords. Now, the 5 of Swords is an energy that takes no prisoners. So I feel you're doing this. You have to follow through on it if you are. I feel like this is somebody who might turn quite nasty. But you want to see them off. You want to see them off, and that's admirable. Just do what you need to, but don't give away more than that. Don't allow yourself to be flapped. Don't allow yourself to be sort of manipulated so much as it's almost like somebody pushes your buttons, essentially. So there's somebody here who wants to get a rise out of you. This is a complicated situation. I don't feel you're being naive. I feel like you're too tired to put up with them anymore and what they do. So you want to finish this. You want to finish this. You want to finish this. Do what you need to, but then get the fuck out of there. If that makes sense to you, Sagittarius, this is what's coming through. I know it feels quite disjointed. I feel like you don't want to run away from this one. You can't run away from this one. That's fine. So you're going to see it through, but then I feel you've got to remove yourself. Go and do something else. Go and recharge. Go and get support for what you're doing afterwards as well. Yeah, you got to fight this battle. That's fine. You've got to see this one through, see it out, see this person down. But don't stick around longer than you need to. Don't give away more than you need to. And watch for any attempts to kind of goad you. Okay, goad you. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Okay. The next sign is going to be Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Cappies. Don't be pushing people around, Capricorn. Don't be pushing people around. Don't be asking other people to shoulder too much of your burden. At the same time, don't be taking on too much of theirs either, but it's mostly the first one, Capricorn. So who have you leveraged your work onto, your responsibility onto? Who have you asked a bit too much of? Who have you placed too many demands on? If you're in a position of authority over someone, to what extent have you bossed them around? If you're not formally in a position of authority over someone, but maybe you're in relationship to them on an interpersonal level, have you still been bossing them around? Have you still been expecting too much? 10 of Wands, they're taking the strain from you, Capricorn. They're taking the strain from you. What tools are you using? You're being quite demanding, Capricorn. Quite demanding, and you can't keep on like this. I feel like goodwill can run out. Goodwill can run out and they can retreat from you or push back at you. And then you might be left a bit alone. having to do things for yourself. But wouldn't it be better to do things for yourself first and not lose them or upset them? Lose some of their goodwill? Three of Wands, I feel, is them pulling away. Six of Swords. You pulling away. Now, you can either wait for everything to go sour and go your separate ways and there be bad blood, or you can calm this now, start to take more responsibility now. Start to recognize some of the impact you're having. Calm it down. Calm it down. Doesn't mean you don't need support at times. Doesn't mean you can't ever be in charge or anything else. But treat them fairly and wisely, Capricorn. Listen out if they have any concerns. Preempt anything you might be doing that is a little bit untoward or a little bit too much. I hope that makes sense for you, Capricorn. The next sign is going to be Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Okay. I've mentioned having unfair expectations on other people for a few of the signs this week. I've also, in the collective energies, talked about people exposing themselves, their foibles, what is reasonable, what isn't reasonable. I've talked about the need for kindness, for compassion, for fairness. Aquarius, do you feel like it's you against the world at this moment in time? Nine of Wands, is it you against the world? Is that where you're coming in? Is this looking for the flaws in other people, looking for the foibles in other people? I can't believe you'd do that. I can't believe you'd say that. I can't believe that. I can't believe you. I can't believe you. Who can I trust? Maybe you can believe that, Aquarius. Maybe people are showing you bits of their humanity. Like, fine, someone does something truly unconscionable, you can react accordingly. If somebody just behaves in a way that maybe you wouldn't have, or makes a mistake, an error of judgment, says a word out of place, doesn't quite share all of your ideas, all of your ideals to the letter, that's okay. That's okay. You're learning about each other, and it's not about them learning from you, it's about you learning from each other as well. You got shit to learn as well, Aquarius. Quite as advanced as you make out. Four of Cups. Give them a break. Give them a break. Like, oh my goodness. I don't feel that what they've done is that bad. What they are doing is that bad. Catch yourself as you rush to judgment, as you rush to condemnation. This isn't somebody who's committed some really heinous crime or act. And you don't need to get on their case quite so heavily. You don't. You can be loving. Advice is the Page of Pentacles, and this is learning. Page of Pentacles for me is all about learning. It's all about seeing development, progress, our ability to better ourselves, to create something better. And that's for you and that's for them. Doesn't mean you have to love every last aspect of them, everything they do or anything else. But it's about allowing them space to be, space to grow, space to develop. Allowing the same for you. Neither of you is the finished product. Be careful how much you're projecting out. Be careful about those ridiculously high standards. Okay, Aquarius, it's come through for a few signs today. I hope that makes sense for you. The next sign is going to be Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 28th of October to the 3rd of November 2019. Pisces. Are you feeling a bit like a visionary at the moment, Pisces? I can see how all this can be so much better. I can see how all of this can work so much better. If only anyone would listen to me, but I feel like I have all the ideas and nobody will listen. So what am I going to do? How can this possibly work? How can I build what I need to? How can we build what we need to? It feels so far off. Oh my goodness. Trapped between having something to share and offer and being terrifying to do so because it feels like it can't possibly be enough, but it is enough. It helps. If you've got a vision of things being better, how things can be better, something to offer, then you can share it, you can offer it. Doesn't mean everyone's going to take you up on it. Doesn't mean the world transforms in an instant, but it has an impact, Pisces. Knight of Pentacles. You got something to work on, something to build on, something to create. You do. It's not just a personal project either. I feel it goes wider than that. Might be a community project that you're working on. Very fearful of what that means with the moon. With the 10 of Wands, you're like, oh, this is just too much. I can't do this. Well, go easy on yourself then. Take it slower. Break it down piece by piece. Start to put out feelers. Don't write people off. Don't write off the support that I feel is out there. There's something to work towards here, and it feels good. It feels like you have something really good to contribute here. Don't sell yourself short, Pisces. Is it work? Yeah. Do you need to bite off more than you can chew? No. Do you need to separate the two? The fear from the reality? What might be overwhelming from what actually is just something that you can build over time? Sure. Sure. And that's coming through for you at this time. So you can work on that this week, Pisces. You can share your ideas. I feel like there's support there for you, and I feel like you can start to do some work in that direction. I hope that makes sense for you. That is all 12 signs. I do have time to pull cards for a couple of people. If you have a question for me, please pop it in the live chat and I will see which of you I am drawn to. And whilst I'm waiting to see what comes through there, if my work helps you, please remember you can book me at any time. Full personal reading is even more helpful than these general readings are. If you'd like to leave me a donation, you can do so as well. My details for that are in the box below. Do you have an event coming up that you'd like to book me for? Would you like to interview me? Would you like to connect with me for any other reason? Details for that are also in the box below. And please everyone remember to like and share the video and to subscribe and enable notifications. Let me see what questions I have coming through. Erin is asking, Zelda, there's a guy with an initial M. I'm wondering if he's interested and if we're compatible. Thank you. Okay, Erin, quick pull on M for you. I won't tell the crowd what the rest of his name is, don't worry. Be a little careful. Someone is someone here isn't showing all parts of themselves. This feels like a slightly secretive atmosphere. And it's going to be difficult to establish trust as a result. Queen of Cups on one side, Page of Pentacles on the other. So we got a water sign, we got an earth sign coming in here. Earth sign may be younger, may be a bit immature, may go for things a little quickly, may not have the other person's best interests at heart. I feel that's him, by the way. May not have your best interests at heart. Seven of Swords, something is being held back, something is unseen, something is hidden. Be careful. Be careful, because I feel like you're focusing on the good points, you're focusing on what is nice, and you may be missing something. So slow it down, because I feel like there's an atmosphere of secrecy that doesn't bode well. I hope that makes sense for you. Madeline Torres, is there a significant door of opportunity or abundance opening up during Scorpio season? Let me see what you're working with, Madeline. What does Scorpio season look like for Madeline? It's hard work for you, Madeline. It's hard work. I feel like you've got to be very disciplined this month. There are going to be things that might divert you, might distract you, might pull you away from your focuses. And you've got to watch out for those. Those are the things that are going to get in the way. So you're coming in with strength. You're coming in with strength. So I feel like you may get a number of invitations or opportunities, and you've got to discern and be careful with your energy and not give too much away. And you've got to not rush into hasty decisions, be they financial ones, be they ones that relate to other aspects of your life. Hierophant calls for wisdom, knowing, taking your time, not doing anything too out of the ordinary. Sense of sticking with what you know, sense of building knowledge over time. Don't rush. Don't rush, don't rush, don't rush. I hope that makes sense for you. Melody Melodical, I would like to move soon. Do you see it working out? Okay, Melody Melodical. Check your motivations, Melody Melodical. Check your motivations. A move is not a bad thing, but there's some stuff that I feel you might be avoiding. Now, it's okay to move to go towards something. If you're just trying to get away from somewhere that's less ideal, they keep telling me that, I don't know if it's where you're at currently, but they're telling me that there is some stuff that relates to childhood, developmental years, and you have stuff to do and resolve and complete in that place. And if you don't work on that sometime soon, you're putting it off, and you need to work on it in the future. And that may get in the way. That may get in the way, that may get in the way, and you want to be freer than that. So that's why you got to work on that stuff And any move otherwise, I feel, is only temporary, and you get pulled back to where you currently are. So there's a need to either stay or return to where childhood developmental time took place. There's some stuff to clear, some stuff to work through. 5 of Cups, Judgment. Then you're going to feel really free. But you've got to resolve this stuff first. I hope that makes sense for you, Melody. Tara Mercury. I'm a Scorpio moon. I feel like my thoughts are pulling people to me recently. May I have a card, please, with advice? Okay, Tara. Okay, guess who's put some of our cards in upside down? Give me a second. I'm getting a tiny bit carried away, isn't it? There we go. Let's try that again. I don't know if that's just trying to refer me back to the same cards for you, Tara. Don't know if it's your thoughts doing that, Tara. Your heart's very open at this time. Your heart's very open at this time, and there's love coming in or being renewed. Ace of Cups. It's also a need to get deep into your emotions, into your feelings at this time. Check what they're telling you. I feel like on an emotional level, you're attracting people, and maybe attracting one person in particular. King of Pentacles. Strong, mature earth sign energy. Could be Taurus, could be Virgo, could be Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So there's somebody coming in who is responsive to you, responsive to your emotions, responsive to what's in your heart. And there's something kind of there. I feel like it's something that you instinctively want to back away from, want to pull away from. But actually, I feel like there's something to learn here. There's something supportive here. I hope this makes sense. I mean, I can't go into too much detail, obviously, on a live read, on a live poll, but that's the sense of what you're actually pulling towards you. There's a possibility of that sense. I feel like somebody who cares about you. It doesn't feel bad. I hope that makes sense for you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for the environment and atmosphere you create here. If you'd like to leave me a donation or book a reading, my details are just in the box below. Please remember to like and share. Please remember to subscribe, enable notifications, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your co-workers. I'm going to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll see you all again really, really soon. Have a great afternoon, evening, night, or morning. Thank you.